Hello and welcome to Gardenville.tv. Well, we're here at Bloom 2012 and thank goodness the sun is shining. Finally, because it's been a very, very wet few days. I'm in the greenhouse gardening. I'm with Patricia Tyrell, and your other designer, Deirdre Prince, is not here. So I'm going to ask you to tell us about your garden, which you call the greenhouse.
Yes, the greenhouse is a reaction to looking at urban front gardens, which are completely paved over, and the bins are all just scattered in front of the door, and it's not really contributing anything to the environment. Whereas the greenhouse, actually, the bins are tidied away in a nice bin store with a green roof, and the water is retained by a water barrel, and you can actually water your plants from the water barrel and conserve water that way. And also the entire front garden is all planted so that when it rains, the water actually soaks down through the ground, and it goes back down into the groundwater instead of running into rivers and causing flooding. The garden, also the planting here, is very wildlife friendly. As you can see, we're just alive with bees and bumblebees at the moment. And we have a bird bath for the birds, and when the grasses come up, the seeds will actually be really good for birds as well, particularly the small birds.
Now, can you just tell me about, I love the idea of the bin being cut away over here, and then you have a lovely herb planting on top of the bin.
Yes, I mean, it's lovely to come out your front door and be able to just reach for your herbs, and it makes sort of the bin store something very attractive as opposed to something unsightly and smelly. So it's just, the smells are lovely there.
And tell me about, you're planting here behind you. I'm going to pull you this way around, so you can see us here at the camera. Tell me about this absolutely beautiful tree, because it's unusual the way the actual trunk of the tree is divided.
Yes, and normally trees are, when you buy a tree, it's just a single stem.
Yeah.
But this tree here has a number of stems, and it's a much more natural shape for a tree. If you went to a woodland where trees grew up naturally, you get lots of different stems in them. And you can see that fits in really well then with the very natural style of planting. It's very soft, and the birch has a lovely pinky white bark on it, which is, really attractive. I mean, it just gives you pleasure all the year round to look at that tree. It's a birch, Betula costata.
So I notice here you've got the walk paving area in, and then you've just got the whole area planted. Yeah. What about all of these plants coming into bloom at different times?
Well, that's the plan, actually, that, well, in theory, you would also have bulbs in there as well. So in the springtime, you'd have all kinds of bulbs coming up, like snowdrops and crocuses and daffodils. And then you have the hellebores coming along as well at that time of the year. You have white flowers, that's Hellebores orientalis there. And then after that, the grasses are starting to really come into their own, and you can see the seed heads starting to pop up. And the Diplerina, which is that nice white one, it's just like little spots of colour.
And what about
really.
And what about the maintenance of this then? Will this die back coming into the winter?
Not really. An awful lot of the plants are evergreen, and they're going to cover the ground, and parts where there isn't any cover, then you can just mulch it in the winter time. And in the summertime, because there's so much cover, the weeds don't get a chance to actually to show their heads.
So is that the secret?
Yeah, so the more densely it is planted, the less likely you are to have weeds. Because nature is, if there's any bare soil, nature will actually fill it with something. So that's where your weeds come from.
Now, just tell me about your watering system. You passed over it like as if it was nothing. Now, hold on here a minute. And the way water is going to be priced in years to come. How did you work this out?
Well, we decided we'd do it. You can obviously buy plastic systems. We wanted to kind of really emphasise the fact that it's just a very simple system. You've got your drain pipe, collects the water, and it goes into the barrel. And then we have a little hose here which is connected to the barrel with a tap, and you can just fill your watering can from that.
And that's easily maintained in the garden, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And in fact, with all the rain yesterday, the barrel is completely full now. It's just filled up even from that little bit of...
So what do you do then with the barrel if you're going to have a lot of rain? How do you manage that?
Well, one should really have an overflow on it. It should connect back into the gully, which would be the ideal thing.
Can I just bring you to this plant here, or is it an Acer?
It is
an Acer. Can you tell me what sort of...
It's called Acer Ozakazuki, and as you can see, it's got beautiful colours. And Acers are great because they have this really translucent foliage, and when the sun shines on them, you can really see the way it shines there, and it just glows. And it gets even nicer then in the autumn because the colours turn to oranges and reds. and it's really beautiful.
And Patricia, I've noticed here in the garden there's a hive. I mean, look at around. The bees are here like buzzing away like billio, aren't they?
They are, yes. Well, that was part of the plan, because the ornamental thistles will attract bumblebees and butterflies, and also the lychnis. And the achillea, when it starts to come into flowers, just starting to come in, that will attract lots of insects as well. So the idea was to, attract as much wildlife as possible.
And do you think there's been a huge move now with people trying to bring more wildlife into their environment and into their garden?
I think there's an awful lot of interest, and people really are trying to do that. And I think, it's great. I think it's fantastic, because a garden shouldn't be just something to look at. It should contribute as well to the environment, and everyone can do that.
Now, you won Best Category and Gold Medal, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, we're absolutely delighted, because it's our first show garden, and we weren't really, we didn't know what to expect, really, so we're delighted.
Can you tell me about the team involved in this garden?
Well, Deirdre Prince worked with me on the design, and we decided to collaborate. We've been talking about doing it for years, and so this time we decided we'd go for it. We met at college, and we've been friends ever since. So we collaborated on a few projects, and we decided we'd collaborate on this, and it's worked out well.
And if anybody looking at this clip would like to contact you about this garden or any other garden, how can they do that, Patricia?
Well, they can email me, or else they could phone me. Will I give you my phone number?
I'd like your email. That would be great.
Okay, it's P Tyrell, that's TYRRELL, at live.ie. Or they can contact Deirdre at deirdre.prince, that's PRINCE, at gmail.com. So either of those will get us.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. Many congratulations on your award at Bloom 2012. The greenhouse, the garden, it's absolutely fantastic. It's really an inspiration for people to try and improve their front garden.
Yes, absolutely, and that's what we're hoping, that it will inspire people to, and it's very accessible. Anyone could really do this. It's very simple and easily done.
Well, Patricia, thank you very much for talking to us at gardenville.tv at Bloom 2012.